My name is Adanah. I'm normally known as April. An administrative officer for postgraduate master students for law. I also look after the associate students, or as we call it, V+1 student. On top of that, I'm also an administrator for the Institute of International Shipping and Trade Law. In general, it's about the life in the UK because majority of our students are overseas students. I would say that made up to about 80% of the cohort each year. And apart from the life in the UK, they also have concerns about the subjects that they study, and also things like financial matters or homesickness. That's kind of quite a massive thing for overseas students. Yes, of course, I got students coming to see me pretty much all the time with their problems and stuff like that. So yes, I do give students quite a bit of advice and stuff. In particular, for example, this student came from overseas. She got nobody else here. It was at the beginning of the semester where overseas, the students still finding their feet. So I saw her one day and she looked a little bit down, so I said, well, why don't you just come in and talk to me about things, what's the matter? And then teacher said that she kind of missed home and she doesn't know what to do while she's here. She hasn't made a lot of friends, so I said, well, how about you go enjoy clubs like sport clubs and things. And I said to her that if it's kind of got worse in the sense that, if that doesn't help, you also have the professional kind of counseling services or well-being services that could help her to sort of go through her problems, which in the end she asked me if I could sort of point her out to the direction, which I did because that's the protocol that we had to follow in that sense. So I guided her along to see someone in counseling services. She went there a few sort of sessions and then she came in to see me afterwards, and she was really happy because at one point she considered withdrawal from the university because she couldn't sort of handle being away from home. So yes, happy ending case. Depends on what type of problems the student have. If they have problems with the financial matters, I would just advise them to go and see money advice services, which is all part of student support services that the university provide. If they have problems mentally, I would just advise them to go and see someone in counseling services. Or if they have problems, if we have like disability students, then we make sure that we coordinate with the disability office of the university to make sure that the student studies run smoothly for them. For example, like with the exams and with the courseworks and stuff like that, that they will have extra helps. Normally, how I recognize the student when they have problems is when I see them around the corridor in the building, because most of our lectures are being held in law building, and I also sort of aware of each student, in particular like their names and where they're from and stuff like that. I try to remember as much as I could, and that's kind of nice for the student to be recognized individually. And so basically when the problems or their problem arise, they just come and see me and talk to me with ease in that sense. So I also provide help with the student in terms of their timetable. The most sort of difficult one is the seminar timetable, when some of their seminar could be clashing with another seminar. So they would normally come in and see me with a timetable, and I would just sit them down and then talk through their seminar timetable with them, that they can move the seminar from here to there, and the clashing will be will be avoided. I think it's important to be supportive to the student, is because, for example, overseas students, they come so far away from home, they don't have anyone to give them advice or support in the first instance until they find their own feet and everything. So to have that one person that they know cares about them will sort of make them feel safe and at ease, and make them feel that they made the right decision to come so far away and study in Swansea, for example. And also, talking from my own experience, I come from overseas myself, and it is hard for overseas people to sort of adapt themselves, sort of in the first instant, once they touch down in the UK, because obviously the culture differences and everything like that, you don't speak much of the same language and stuff like that. So it is nice to have that person, and that's where I come in. That's part of my job, and I feel that I'm like their sister in Swansea, to give them support, to give them advice, and to kind of help them through their study here in Swansea. The best thing about my job is that each day just never sort of has a doubt moment at all. Each day you got different kind of scenarios to do, so basically my day just varies from day to day, and I love that because it gives me challenges, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, okay, the basic sort of things about my job is just to provide supports and advice and pastoral care to students, but the sort of the in-depth kind of problems, I would never know what's going to come through my door next. And the team that I work with, they are brilliant. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better sort of colleagues and stuff than the team that I have right now. Most of all, I think the satisfaction that I have from the student knowing that they're happy with the services I provide them makes me really, really happy. I mean, for example, at the end of the term, I usually get thank you card from the student to say how grateful they are that they had a great support throughout the year that they study here in Swansea, and they will never ever forget me. Personally, I think just to stop centralizing the support mechanism of the courses or of each colleges, because by centralizing the administrative support, it doesn't really provide the student the personal touch that the student needs, because you need sort of at least one person for each courses or each level of study in order for you to provide that personal advices to students.